Counting calories. That is the most stupid idea ever. People just counting calories.
For many of us looking to lose weight, build muscle, or just get fitter, we often run online to find advice to improve our diet, which brings us on to Mr. Eddie Abbew. He's fairly big on Instagram and TikTok. I think he's got 2 million on Instagram. His main thing he tends to do is give like nutritional advice. And I actually didn't know much about him at all. But over the last 6 months, I had more and more people asking me what my thoughts are. So I decided to get off my ass and actually do some research into him. And what I found is he's around 60 years old. He used to be a nurse and he competed against Ronnie Coleman. So he's an OG bodybuilder. But that also does mean he did abuse steroids, which I feel like we may touch on later on in the video. But anyways, without further ado, let's dive straight into his content. I'm going to try and be super unbiased because some of the clips I did see, I was kind of like, I don't know about that one. But if you're here and you're actually a fan of Eddie, please stay to the end of the video and let me know in the comments if there's anything I've actually missed.
Protein bagels. If you think there's any protein in this fucking thing that's going to do you any good, you're fucking stupid.
I actually fully agree with him here. When it comes to some of these products such as protein bagels, protein oats, you really have to pay attention to what's on the back of the nutrition label because a lot of the time when it comes to the protein, you're only getting like 1 or 2 grams more than the original one that you'd buy, but they jack up the price and slam the word protein on the packet. So the only time I'd really recommend buying these products is if the price is relatively the same.
Fruit. If you're trying to lose body fat, stay the fuck away from fruit. The only fruit you should eat really are berries, blueberries and the blackberries. You eat an apple, you just think, hang on, it's a bag of sugar.
Okay, I have to disagree there. That doesn't make much sense. For one, if you want to lose weight, fruits are a fine way to do it as long as you're in a calorie deficit. That's the main thing, calorie deficit. And in regards to eating apples like a bag of sugar, you should only eat berries. That doesn't make any sense because gram for gram, apples and blueberries are fairly the same when it comes to sugar. So that doesn't really make much sense.
Counting calories. That is the most stupid idea ever. When you count calories, you're making an assumption that the food that you're eating is food.
That is terrible weight loss advice. Calories still matter whether it comes to foods that you necessarily think are snackish and junk food or when it comes to whole food. For example, if you had 3 whole steaks and like 15 whole eggs every single day, that's a lot of calories. And I guarantee when it comes to trying to lose weight, you'll soon struggle. And furthermore, it doesn't even make much sense because
I eat 3,500 calories a day.
So if he doesn't track calories, how on earth did he get to that number? Like, he must track at some point.
Fiber. Everywhere you look, oh, you need to get fiber. The reason why you need fiber is because you're eating shit. I eat avocados, quite high in fiber. I eat olives, high in fiber. I eat red meat, so I got fiber.
Even the biggest of Eddie fans must agree that he's wrong there. There is no fiber in red meat. Like, steak don't have no fiber, so that's not true. And the problem is that if you look at the comments of what people said on that video, a good portion of his followers have no clue and didn't even correct him because they just didn't know. They're just going to hear that and go, okay, really, steak has fiber. And they're going to eat steak thinking they're getting their fiber in. So that's a little bit worrying. If you're not knowing things like that and you're taking the advice on the chin, imagine when it gets down into the nitty gritty, how many things you can potentially be misled by because you just don't know.
Look, they got a McDonald's inside an Asda. This is fucking wild. Let's go and see what we can get. It's fucking wild, isn't it?
Okay, we're back on the Eddie train. I definitely do agree with him here. It is kind of crazy. As when they built the McDonald's in my local Asda during the special virus time, I thought it was insane. The fact that during this, pandemic, you're out here building a McDonald's in the place where people should be going to actually buying foods to make home-cooked meals, you're tempting them as they walk through the door. And it is almost like a human factory. We literally, me and my girl, when we go food shopping, we see the families coming in droves and the moms almost usher their 2 or 3 kids to go to McDonald's. So while she's doing the food shopping, getting food that they probably should be eating, she's letting them sit in McDonald's and stuff their face with Happy Meals. So I definitely think it shouldn't be in an Asda. The same way I don't think that you should have fast food places in a gym.
Half enough, half shit and half shit. Guys, wake the fuck up. Bake your own bread or get your bread from the fucking bakery. This is not fucking food. Bread's supposed to have 4 ingredients in it. Water, salt, yeast, flour. This is fucking shit. Wake up.
I ain't gonna lie, that was funny. But I will say, come on, Eddie, it's fucking bread. Like, I'm using your words now, I'm swearing, but yeah, 1 or 2 slices of bread every other day is not the end of the world. Considering we're not in the 1950s or 60s and there's not like a local baker in every corner, and most people are fairly busy as it is to even cook regular meals, you want them now to set time aside to now bake their own bread. I feel like his advice isn't practical for the mass majority of people. Him, that's a business owner and he may be able to work his own hours a little bit better. it may be fine, but my general thought is when it comes to fitness is the vast majority are regular people. So I try and factor in scenes and health benefits, but also practicality.
Look at this fucking shit and all this other shit. Reason why you'll be standing here looking at shit like this, you believe in that calorie deficit nonsense.
One thing I'm definitely getting from his content, he definitely does like this whole kind of scare tactic of like, this is shit. I don't know, to me, that kind of rubs me the wrong way. Obviously, if you pick up like a pack of Rustler burgers or just something disgusting like that, I can understand just saying that shit because objectively, they're shit. But when you start picking up like an apple and you start telling them that this is shit, people just don't know what to eat anymore.
This is a single ingredient food. When you put it in the box, it says chicken. If you can't trust these motherfuckers to make you a single ingredient food because they feed the chicken, you don't even know what they feed the chicken. If you can trust them to make you this, why the hell would you trust them to make you shit like this?
And this is the prime example of what I sort of mean. This initially started off as like trying to eat more single ingredient food, which I do agree, the more you can do that in your diet, the better off you're gonna be. But because he starts tangenting about we can't even trust what they put in the chicken, you kind of lose his original point, which was literally eat single ingredient food. But when you start modeling other things, you start scaring people into like not knowing, well, is the chicken okay to eat then? Because the way you just described it, I should be worried about the chicken. So you can see based off the comments, these sort of videos and the way he kind of goes about it really does just leave them wondering what is okay to eat. Because you're saying this is shit, but maybe you should eat this, but then it's also got a little bit of crap in it too. People are now confused and overwhelmed. And for the vast majority of people, it's just too much. It's like information overload. So we're going to get into what food he actually is because I'm actually more curious now.
This is a fucking egg. That's the egg white, and then you got the egg yolk. I see grown-ass, intelligent men. I use the word intelligent loosely when I refer to people in the fucking fitness industry. Grown-ass men throwing this away and eating the fucking egg whites. Guys, wake the fuck up. All the nutrients are here.
He is right there. Egg yolks do have a lot of nutrition in them, but the egg whites does have some too. Not as much because you are removing quite a bit of it, but if you're someone on a low calorie diet, I can see why you potentially want to eat more egg whites, less than the yolk because it's got more calories, but he doesn't believe in calories. That's probably why he doesn't mention it.
It's 2:30 p.m., first meal of the day. Scrambled eggs, some mushrooms, some macadamia nuts, and some beef liver. Let's go. It's about 1:30. My first meal is some wild salmon, 6 eggs. My first meal of the day is 6 eggs and some feta cheese. It's about 3 o'clock now. It's about 1:30. This is my first meal of the day. 6 whole eggs, some feta cheese, eggs. Eat eggs, eat eggs. This is my first meal of the day. 8 eggs. This is my favorite way of cooking eggs. Today I'm eating scrambled eggs.
That's a lot of eggs. Like if you're doing that every other day, your farts must stink. There's one thing I'll definitely state from seeing the foods that he eats. His diet is not for everyone. Like he was a world-class bodybuilder that's on stage with people like Ronnie Coleman. This guy has a different level of discipline and work ethic that's going to be unmatched. The regular person, I don't believe will stick to this long term. Whereas I truly believe Eddie will eat this way till he dies. Like he's truly disciplined and he enjoys this diet. You can see it in his face. I truly believe for him, this is sustainable. He will eat it forever and be happy with it.
I take steroids a lot more than the average person. Those drugs affect your liver adversely. How do you keep your liver strong? By not eating fucking junk food. When you eat junk food, they're doing the same thing to your liver as the steroids are. Bodybuilders are dying.
Okay. I was with him at first, like trying to repel people from taking steroids, but that's just not true. Eating junk food is not as bad as taking steroids. It's not even close. It's just not. There's no way that you can compare eating a pack of Haribo to jockeying needles in your backside. So this is just another example of what I mean when I say he's trying to scare you into it. If you eat junk food, it's just as bad as taking steroids. Like that is such a misleading statement to put out to the world.
What snacks would I recommend for someone who's got a sweet
I'm gonna say
and it's
none,
fruit?
probably.
There's no fucking thing as snack. You're only snacking because you've been brainwashed for years to think that you need a snack. You think our forefathers had snacks? Our ancestors were hunter-gatherers. You think they went around eating snacks? No. Stay the fuck away from those snacks.
I kind of had a feeling he was going to say something along those lines because I haven't seen him eat any snacks. Like, let's be real, how many of you watching are willing to just give up snacks for the rest of your life? You're just going to go straight cold turkey, eggs, beef liver, mackerel, salmon, steak, but there's nothing else outside of that ever. Never seen a cookie, never seen a donut. I totally agree with not eating those stuff every single day, but to just say never have them, I'm not on board.
Oh shit, I forgot about pancake day. It says, on your marks, get sick, die.
The things that he says, I think would work on people that just eat non-stop bullshit every day, because some really need that extra push to like eat better. And if you're eating like takeaway 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes even once a day, hearing his message, even though I don't agree with scare tactics, may push you to the total opposite direction where you clean up your diet. And throughout this video, at various points, you've probably seen me put the comments up based off certain videos he said. You can definitely see that a lot of his fans are crippled. They don't know what to do. And when I say crippled, I'm talking about like decision crippled, not like, oh, my words. But going back to him being on steroids, I saw some people echo the statement that if he didn't have such a good physique going into his 60s, a lot of people wouldn't be listening to his advice. And I do kind of agree. I think a good portion of people listen to him because he looks great and he's like 60 years old. So they're like, oh my God, when I'm 60, I don't look like that. The difference is he didn't get that way from just eating how he did. A good portion of it is because of the steroids that he took for like decades. So I think if you're someone that's going to listen to Eddie, you should be listening to him because you like the way he eats and you like what he talks about. Don't follow his diet and stuff thinking that if I eat that way into my 60s, I'm going to look like him, because that's just not going to happen. So I wanted to try and shoot him a little bit more bail. I went searching and searching and searching to try and find a video where he adds a little bit more nuance. And I came across this one. This is the only one where I can see where he's kind of talking like a normal-ish person.
This is fucking wild. Look at this. It says cookies and cream at the top, perfect with melted butter, great with chocolate spread. Come on. The only chocolate spread you need is me, not this shit.
Before he carries on, I tried that cookies and cream thing just because I thought it was going to taste like a nice dessert bagel. It was disgusting. I hate it. If you like it, let me know down in the comments, but I thought it was trash. So in case anyone's looking to go buy it, I'd avoid it.
Problem is, they got all of us. I'm standing here with my team and everyone's like, do you know what? I want to try this. Listen, they got us. I'm not saying that.
He said us. They got us.
You can never eat this. I'm saying that this food, I call it dip in, dip out food. Doesn't mean you eat all the time. You eat this all the time. You're a fucking idiot.
See, everything he said in that video, I virtually agree with. The fact he was saying that if you're looking to live off this, you're a fucking idiot, I fully agree with that too. But he called it dip in and dip out food, which suggests that he's okay with people having these things occasionally. But the problem is 99.99999% of his content is just saying it's shit and then he moves on. He doesn't ever say this. Like, I had to dig, like literally, it's been hours, and I found this one video, and I think that's just because he was super curious as to what it tastes like. That is the message he should give. It shouldn't just be 110% of this is shit. It should be do not live off this. If you just said at the end of each of his videos, do not live off these foods, it would kind of be enough. So when it comes to do I recommend and should you listen to Eddie Abbew, I see his message and I definitely agree with him. His whole thing is trying to push people that eat like absolute ass every single day to eat single-digit foods. However, some of the methods he does to go about it is very, very sketchy. I think the whole trying to scare people into eating certain foods by demonizing them. So that aspect, I'm not really a fan. But at the same time, you can't deny the amount of people that said from changing and eating similar foods that Eddie recommends, they've seen drastic change in their life. At the end of the day, this is real lived experiences. So if people are seeing results, then I'm all for it. But I will caveat that and say, the most of the people that probably saw big results is because they probably was what I mentioned earlier and went from having 1 takeaway a day or 2 takeaways or 4 takeaways a week and went on to like his more lifestyle. Once you do that for the average person, you cut out junk, they're going to drop calories and they are going to feel much better. What I will say is that those type of people, if you just gradually started fitting in more balance and got to the point where 85% of your foods is home cooked, then you have 15% of like a little bit more fun, you would also see a great change as well. Many of my clients have seen progress from doing this as well. So I definitely believe in preaching balance. But in reality, when it comes to Mr. Eddie Abbew, the real thing that really matters is, what are your thoughts? Do you feel like you could eat this way long term? Be sure to let me know down below in the comments. And if you want to check out more videos, be sure to check out these here.